We are ready now to bring in from the great state of Texas, Senator Ted Cruz. We'll keep our picture up for now. Senator Cruz, you're with me?
Good morning, Harris. Good to be with you.
Good morning. We've got a couple things to get to. First of all, the landscape, because I don't want to miss it with you. The landscape that you see for Republicans right now. And are we overblowing? Is the word bellwether too big? Is the forecast for Virginia too big?
Well, listen, I think Virginia is a very important canary in a coal mine. If you look back to 2009, when you had the last time you had a new Democratic president, Barack Obama, who had adopted extreme policies, that adopted Obamacare and Dodd-Frank, the reaction, Virginia was the first canary in the coal mine that foretold what happened in 2010, which was the Republican Revolution, where we retook Congress. That was incredibly important. And I see the same dynamic going on. You know, Joe Biden last year campaigned as a centrist moderate. He basically promised no more mean tweets. But other than that, he was just going to go back to calm and peaceful governance, and that is not what we've seen this year. Instead, Biden has handed control of the agenda over to the radicals, over to Bernie Sanders and AOC and Elizabeth Warren, and I think people are horrified. I think Virginia is an aspect of that.
You know who also is horrified? Apparently? Maybe some of the Democrats.
Yeah.
Who don't consider themselves like that. Senator Joe Manchin is still not a yes. Senator Cruz, can you even believe this? That moderate Democrat senator, Manchin, again is standing in the gap. And he says he won't sign off on President Biden's social spending package, that monstrosity, until he understands its full impact on our economy. He wants numbers, facts, a legislative written document. Manchin also is accusing progressives in his own party of holding a separate infrastructure bill hostage. Democratic leaders vowing to push ahead with voting possible on both bills this week. Real quickly, your thoughts.
Well, listen, I think both Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are showing real courage to stand up to the radicals in their party. I'm glad they're doing it. I don't know if they'll hold the line or not. But I will say one of the real indictments is, what about the other 48 Democrats? Apparently, other than those two, there's not another Democrat in the Senate who cares about whether or not we pass the Bernie Sanders socialist budget. This is the most dramatic government spending, government tax increase we've ever seen, and 48 Democrats are on board with Bernie Sanders' socialist budget. I'd like to see Manchin and Sinema get some company, because there are a number of Democrats, including Mark Kelly in Arizona. He calls himself a moderate. He's on the ballot this time. He's perfectly happy with it. Maggie Hassan up in New Hampshire, she's perfectly happy with the Bernie Sanders socialist budget. Catherine Cortez Masto in Nevada, she's perfectly happy with the Bernie Sanders socialist budget. John Tester in Montana. Let's see some of these Democrats who pretend they're moderates show even a fraction of the courage that Manchin and Sinema are showing right now.
So it's so interesting what you're saying, because is it lack of courage, or are they just trying to buy this out? Because some of them think, oh, I don't want to be the one in the Senate who gets booted. Let me just be quiet.
Well, listen, I think they're scared of the radicals in their party. They look at AOC. They look at the angry left wing, the Marxists, the people who are pushing critical race theory, the people who are pushing open borders. And they've decided essentially all of the energy and anger and passion in the Democratic Party is on the extreme left. And so every one of those Democrats I mentioned voted to confirm not one but two senior officials in the Biden Justice Department who are among the leading advocates in the country for abolishing the police. And the reason is there are a bunch of Democrats that are scared of their left wing. And I think what we're seeing in Virginia is there are a bunch of suburban moms that are saying, hold on a second, open borders and abolishing the police and teaching our kids racism and dividing us on race, that's not what I signed up for. And I think when the Democrats embrace an extreme agenda, I believe, Harris, that 2022 is going to be an election like 2010, that it's going to be a wave election, that Republicans are going to retake both the House and Senate, and they're going to do it because Joe Biden has handed the agenda over to the crazies in his party.
Wow, it always falls to we suburban moms. We suddenly have an identity all of a sudden. But you know what's interesting about what you're saying, just in terms of today in New Jersey and Virginia, it is less about whether the GOP can flip a blue state red at this point. It's the fact that it can make it pink.
Yeah. And
Not
listen,
even purple. That it can come so close with people who were stalwart Democrats. It wasn't even supposed to be like that in either state.
And listen, you mentioned New Jersey. Look, New Jersey's uphill. They probably elect a Democrat today. But last week, the polling in New Jersey showed it within 4 points. And I will say, New Jersey, it's a tough state for Republicans to win. But in 2009, the same time that Virginia elected a Republican governor, that's when New Jersey elected a Republican governor in Chris Christie. And I think the fact that both of these elections are close, whatever the outcome tonight, really signals the problems that Democrats have in November of next year.
All right, we have just a few seconds. I know you're so busy on the Hill, so we're grateful for your time. Senator Cruz has joined his fellow Judiciary Committee Republicans in sending a letter to the president, and in it they voice opposition to a reported administration plan to pay $450,000 per person to illegal immigrants. Your quick take on this.
Look, I think it is stunning that Joe Biden is talking about sending $450,000 a person to illegal immigrants who break the law, who came here, and whose families were separated under Donald Trump. To put that in perspective, when a U.S. serviceman or woman is killed in combat overseas, the federal government pays their family $100,000. Joe Biden wants to send $450,000 of taxpayer money per illegal alien. I think it is absolutely abusive. It's ridiculous. And it's not what Biden campaigned on.
And I know you're
it's an
gonna fight
example of the radicals driving the agenda.
All right, we've got to scoot. Thank you again. We'll see you soon in Focus. Senator Cruz, the great state of Texas. Outnumbered after the break.
Appreciate it.